Hi guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about type and what we can possibly do with it for your graphic design poster. And this may be the last video I put out for this one. All right, so with type, you want to think about your slogan, your campaign topic, your main idea, which is be yourself. And then I'm asking you to think of a word based on your client and whatever they tell you, based on the information you get to kind of intertwine, think about morphing this unique word with yourself. However you can do that is really, you're only limited to your creative, limitations. So here we go. What we need to do is start out with a type tool. And what I did is I just chose 72 point and I chose the Mistral font for Be Yourself, and with a black type color. It might look like this. Okay, so just as you can see down here, what we're going to do to this next is I found that I think because you can't do much with the type the way it is, you can also, this helps. We can drag it to the copy paper and copy it, make a copy of it, all right, in case you goof up or you want to do something with it later. Let's go back to the original Be Yourself, and what we want to do is rasterize this. So if we go to Layer, Rasterize, Type, you can also go to Type and oh, it doesn't show up there. I thought it would. I think it did in an older version. So you go to rasterize type, and what it does is it turns it into, instead of a type layer, it turns it into an object layer. So now you can do more things with it. Now we can cut this up. We can take and select our B from that layer. We can cut it. We can paste it back in. Remember, cut is Command X, paste is Command V. Now I could Command T and transform it. That's also edit, transform, scale. But Command T will also do the trick. In my example, I blew up this word to make it a little bigger. You can do that with both. Actually, now I have on this layer, if I hold down Command, click on it, I should be able to move it around. Actually, right now I'm going to change this word to not be B, but just yourself, because it's on different layers now. Okay? So that's just yourself. So B is actually here. I'm going to title this B. All right. Go back to yourself, Command T. And let's kind of make this a little bigger too. Maybe not that big. We can also space it out. A lot of different things you can do with type. In the type settings, if you go to Window, go to Type, Character. You have some type options here, a lot of kerning options, a lot of ways you can manipulate the type. So notice if I go back to this Be Yourself type layer, I can play around with the kerning, which is, it'll press the letters further apart. It will squish it together real close like that. Okay, so play around with some of those type settings, all right? And then what does this do? I think this is spacing. So if you have a second line, it adds spacing or takes away spacing if we had a second line down here. So depending on what you want to do with your type and font, you can play with those. I personally like to manipulate font by turning them into an object layer, okay, like these are. Now what could I do with this? I could do a lot to this. For instance, let's go back to yourself, I could select this, okay? I'm going to make a copy of this just so I have it. So on the copy, actually, I'm going to use that one. I'm going to zoom in slightly so you can see it a little bigger. So I'm going to put a gradient in here. My gradient is going to go from, let's just keep it like that. So it's going to be white to clear, all right? And what I chose was, it's like this, but my colors are white to clear. You can see here I have white to clear here, okay? So now I'm going to, on a new layer, always put your gradients on a new layer, and I'm going to type in Be Yourself gradient. All right. I'm going to start up here, hold down Shift to get a straight line, and just drag it out. Okay, that's one way to do it. I'm going to move a little lower. Okay. I don't know if that's the right look I'm going for. Step back a couple times. What happens if I do it this way? Okay. If I deselect, that's kind of what we get. All right, which might be an interesting effect depending on what you want to do with it. Okay. If you go to my example, I created some type of shadow. So if you want to put the word unique in there, I kind of like the way this looks. So select unique. Right now unique is a type layer, so I'm going to copy this. What happened there? Copy. Okay. And I'm going to rasterize the copy. I'm going to go layer, rasterize the type. So now it's unique. Command T. Going to make it bigger. I like that kind of, so why don't we bump it up a little bit like that. I'll make a copy of this layer here. All right, just so I have it. I'm going to select this unique. I'm going to apply the same transparency that I did before, or the same gradient, sorry. Same gradient. See what happens. That might look kind of neat. And then what happens if I just, so this is on that layer, right? Yep. So what happens if I put a, I know I always talk, don't ever use drop shadows, but that actually doesn't look too bad. I think that's kind of cool. I'm a big proponent of never using drop shadows, but sometimes it works, especially with font. And that kind of, you know, that might work depending on how you want to organize it. You could do some things where the unique word in itself morphs into yourself, you know, the word yourself. So let's just go back and use our unique word, and let's make it let's duplicate that again because we're going to use it again. So now we have two copies. I'm going to rasterize one of them. Layer rasterize type. On my type layer, I'm going to select it. Let's fill it with black. Let's just fill it. Edit, fill. You can also go Shift F5 to bring up the options. Select black. Command D is deselect. Let's move this one out of the way. I like that gray, but let's not use it. You can also do some things with type. If we use our type, our unique type, remember there are options along the top. In your character, you can also warp and change your type character. So if we go to the type tool, you can click on this and you can use warp text. Okay, you can arc it if you want. You can do some other things. You can bulge it. Okay, a lot of different options there. Play around, see what you can find. Okay. I'm almost out of time here. I want to speed this up, so I'm going to go back to here. And maybe I just want a way to make these look bigger. Let's say I want to give this word some thickness. All right, I'm going to hold down Command, click on the word unique. I'm going to select, modify, expand it by, I don't know, 20. Woo, that's too much. Let's contract that back. Let's contract that by 10. There we go. That might be better. No, no, no. Let's see what it looks like. On a new copy, on a new layer, let's fill it with black again. Yeah, see, we lose what's going on there. So let's undo that. I don't like it. That's an option for you. You can try it. You might not like it. All right, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You guys, how are we gonna get this to morph? We could do this. This might be kind of fun. No. But you guys can play around with what you want to do. That might look kind of neat. I like how the Y is kind of coming down into the U. You could warp this. If we wanted to warp our unique, we could warp it. Go to Edit, Transform, Warp. And you could play around with different options that way. We could make it look like it's bent and curved, coming out of the Y. There are some no-nos, maybe, being that, you want good design. Again, we're experimenting, okay? So some things could look good, some things could look bad, depending on your visual take on the information. Okay. Good luck, everybody.